All right. What's up, guys? We've got MAXPAX in the bottom right. It's the semi-finals of the Weekly Cup. He scouted a completely normal build. He saw the barracks at home. He knows there's going to probably be an expansion, something like that soon. He goes home thinking, great, successful scout, did some harassment. Little does he realize that he's being cheesed by Shopify Rebellion's BYUN, who snuck a second SCV across, built a bunker. And this is why you always want to send that probe inside, check if they're 1 or 2 gases. And if they're on 2 gases, okay, fair enough. But if they're only on 1 gas, they need to have the command center down at a minute 45. No later than that. Otherwise, they're doing a cheesy cheese. And that's exactly what's happening here. 3 Marines coming across the map. They're joining up with the Marauder. And MAXPAX is probably dead. He's building Stalkers, which are probably better than Adepts at defending this. And if you can see this, that'd be great. Oh, they run past each other. That's so important for MAXPAX. Quickly, drop a battery. And if he can get this Stalker back, recall the other one, he might be okay. This Stalker needs to go back. He's going to pull a bunch of probes. I think he needs to pull more. I think he needs to pull most of the probes off gas right now. Maybe even cancel his Twilight. He's got a Stalker and a Zealot. He was going to go for a Zealot pressure. The Zealot should help a lot with the defense. And here we go. Bunker going down. He tries to do some back and forth micro. He gets rid of the SCV on the bunker. That shield battery's almost ready, but oh, the Zealot's going down. The probes are chasing very far. But look at that. Battery's up. With battery overcharge, I think MAXPAX can hold this. He's just got to be real cautious because BYUN's going to try and force the overcharge out, pull back, and then go in again and focus down the Stalkers. But he can't do it. He accidentally built a Marine out of this barracks as well. That should have been a Marauder. He is starting Stim. So BYUN's saying, hey, as long as I get Stim, maybe shields out of this barracks, I can still have a decent transition. But if he has to float that barracks home, and this stays as just concussive shell bio, that's where he's in big trouble. But great choice for MAXPAX to go for the Stalker Zealot pressure. It scouted what was up. He only lost 3 probes in a Zealot. And you might think, well, units lost. It's great for Terran. But you've got to factor in how expensive it is to send an SCV across, build a barracks over here. You lose a lot of mining for that. And now you're in an exposed position where you kind of need to maintain map control or you're in trouble. Second gateway's coming up. Blink is almost halfway done. Robo's on the way. Sends a probe out. Actually keeps it alive as well. MAXPAX. Slick plays here. 4 Stalkers. If BYUN commits, you want to focus fire the Marauders most likely. Arguably, you could focus the Marines down because you can one-shot them with 4 Stalkers. But I think the Marauders are the bigger threat. Notice MAXPAX even pulls some probes just in case BYUN shoves in. We've got 5 Stalkers out. Once Blink's out, you're in a much better position. 3rd gateway going up. If you can get an Immortal as well, that would be big. Pylon actually gets cancelled. That's interesting. MAXPAX says, no, I need to get these 4 gateways up so I don't feel so crowded in my base. 3rd and 4th barracks go up behind this, as well as an engineering bay on the natural. Up to 28 workers is BYUN. So this is a command center that's just finished morphing into an orbital. Very, very delayed on that. Stalkers don't quite have Blink, but MAXPAX is so good at not getting any of them caught. Remember, he hasn't lost a Stalker this game. And a force field there could be really big as well. Guardian Shield also, once he gets 75 energy, is a game changer. Another shield battery goes down. MAXPAX still in a very turtly state. But as Blink is now kicked in, he definitely wants to get out here with his Stalkers and see if he can catch the bio. BYUN's trying to ambush him on the high ground. MAXPAX doesn't know those forces are there. Going to go after the barracks and try to get rid of the upgrades. Combat shields, though, started at home. BYUN realized there was no way he was going to get that one off. Oh, nice free Marauder. MAXPAX. Oh, God. Ogre, you got to blink down here, buddy. Oh, my God. MAXPAX. Okay, he just lost 2 Stalkers. That was a little bit derpy. And BYUN's going to try to stim forward to trap him, but recalls the Stalkers. They run down to the natural. In that scenario, you always want to have them clumped up here as they focus down the Marauder and then the Tech Lab so that they can blink straight across the rocks all in one go. MAXPAX was not expecting the army to come in and catch him like that. Thought that the army would come from the left and you could blink up to the right. But 2 Stalkers is better than losing too many of them. Now, he doesn't bait a stim there. He was hoping to bait a stim out of BYUN, but BYUN realizes I don't have medevacs in this game. My factory just started. But if he commits in, he's in huge trouble. There's a Guardian Shield, an Immortal, and a battery there. There's no way this is going to go well for BYUN. Stims in, realizes this is a terrible situation. Those Stalkers could blink on this to chase it down as well. Another Stim just to run away, which is good enough for MAXPAX. He's like, dude, those units are dying. We're going to chase them down. That barracks should probably float away to the south. BYUN's going to try and hide that barracks. Stalker Immortal does come in. Immortal's going after the barracks, sees it floating to the south. He's going to try and chase these units down, but careful, MAXPAX. Good blink back micro so far. Starport is only now starting. It's another few minutes until medevacs hit the field. BYUN does have a hefty Marauder count, so Stalkers are, of course, very fragile, and loses that Stalker, does MAXPAX. 3rd base has now started. Warp Prism is on the way. Dark Templar coming in. He knows that you're going to be desperately trying to get medevacs as BYUN, which means there is no chance he'll go for a Raven. Very good understanding of the play by MAXPAX. He's going to warp in a Stalker to slowly work on this barracks. Got to be careful F2ing that bad boy to the front. And it is pretty consistent worker production for him. He's got a good army. He's in a good position. But keep in mind, Terran has equal workers. Usually very good for them. And oh, the force field on the ramp! That's actually so nice. Oh man, he's going to warp in another sentry and go straight for another force field. Force field. Waits to the last second. Gets it. Really nicely done. Sentry will almost go down there. It does. But guess what? The Prism's warping in a few more sentries. He's taking out all the tech labs on the barracks. The starport lifting back to build itself a new reactor. There's a Dark Templar here as well. He's going to drop a DT on the natural. Try and start working on those Marauders. Another force field goes down. He's going to go after the SCVs. Dude, the Immortal is smashing it. Finally, some bio gets on top of that. And I think it's time to run away from MAXPAX now. He's already done a lot of damage. The scan does take out the Dark Templar there. Prism does have another Dark Templar going ham in the main base. BYUN getting ransacked in this game. His barracks is going to float away. I guess he doesn't know about that front third base. He's hoping against hope that this is still 2-base versus 2-base. Of course, MAXPAX with the third up now is looking good. He's going to go for a bit more Stalker harass. He's got to be careful. Just pick off a unit here or there. But with Stim Bio, the consequences for overextending are rather steep. Doesn't get anything there. The SCV hidden the refinery. Third base fully saturated. Forges on the way. Colossus are building, as well as Charge on the way with the Twilight Council. Remember that MAXPAX beat Maru on the weekend, guys. MAXPAX is looking monstrous lately. I think he beat BYUN as well, actually. I think it was BYUN and MAXPAX. Oh, careful, Stalkers. Good damage, though. Just forces SCVs off the line. And beyond here, he's got a 4th and 5th barracks. He's now started a 3rd command center. But he is largely impotent in this game, whereas MAXPAX is, of course, not only getting the army advantage in the near future with Colossus coming out, upgrades being added, he's going to 8 gateways and a 4th Nexus. So MAXPAX is able to do everything at once. He's not in one of these positions where you're behind and you've got to cut corners here and there. He can do just about everything. BYUN's barracks on the other side of the map does burn down eventually. We could get sold. Still only 4 medevacs on the map. Every stim is so painful. Should be able to get a Stalker with concussive there, and he gets it nice and low. There we go, 1 Stalker kill. Good blink back micro by MAXPAX. Should be able to get away though. Zealot drop, no. Does get deflected in the main. Oh, he's going to lose another couple Stalkers. MAXPAX actually loses a lot of Stalkers on the retreat there. Nice chase for BYUN. He's going to try and rotate around the top, try and catch the Warp Prism potentially. 4th base is up there. 68 probes for MAXPAX. Extended Thermal Lance on the way. Going to give that +3 range. Oh, whoa. Okay, BYUN does not trigger stim. Luckily, that Stalker doesn't get spotted. Zealot Drop's going to hide in the dead space. This is where a lot of players would build a Viking just to get rid of that. Good choice by MAXPAX. He's just threatening, sees that BYUN's leaving units there. As long as BYUN has army stationed at home, the MAXPAX Prism is doing its job. Second Forge comes in as well. Remember, he has the Dark Shrine from earlier as well. He can make Archons whenever he feels like it. Oh my gosh, this area is always the oh, watch out for the force fields though. BYUN shoves forward. He gets a Colossus, but he's going to lose a lot of units for that. I don't know if that was an overextension. I think it might have been. Colossus do not do much to those +1 armor Marauders. Doing 20 damage a shot. Zealots trying to get some damage. 3 SCVs go down. Great pullback by MAXPAX. Does he redrop on that SCV? You know he does. Always paying attention to those details. MAXPAX takes out the SCV on the depot. Another Zealot run by on the natural at the same time. Gets on top of these Marauders and Marines coming out of the barracks. Ooh, he's splitting up, targeting those Zealots wherever he can. Going after an SCV on the natural. This one goes back into the 3rd, but BYUN's army is still stationed at home. Cleans it up okay. More Zealots in the main as well. MAXPAX, he's really stressing BYUN's multitasking, and he takes a 5th base behind it. Wow. 77 workers up. We've got 2-1 upgrades on the way, not to mention more Disruptors and Colossi building. 2 more gases on the 3rd base coming up. 4th base nicely saturated as well. The Prism's finally going to get shot down. 1 Zealot gets out before it falls. So a Zealot and a Prism, a 500 mineral loss for the Protoss. Oh no, that's the only Stalkers on the map. 3 of them fall instantly. The other 6, very wounded, very exposed, but they managed to escape just barely. You've got to be careful about this, because right now, Vikings are coming out. There's 4 of them. You've got next to no Stalkers to shoot them down. He's forced to warp in another 5 Stalkers to bring the count up to 11. Zealots kind of getting ready on the left side. Bio Ghost coming forth. MAXPAX MAXPAX needs to bring his army down. He's not watching right now. That fourth is an easy snipe. BYUN catches him off. He's actually going to boost into the main at the same time. He's worried about a blink on those full medevacs. Nice pullback on this army. Better get that army out of there. Good EMP. Looks like the triple medevac drop in the main doing well. Oh, he recalled too many units, potentially? Two Colossus are still on the low ground. MAXPAX well positioned. Zealot run by killed 3 SCVs. It's dealing with the Marines and the Ghosts. If you don't micro your bio, it does not do well versus Zealots. But BYUN's hands and eyes are busy elsewhere. Woo-wee! Takes out the Zealots, cleans through a bunch of the other units as well. The Colossus does barely survive, though. Decent trade for MAXPAX, who's down in the units lost tab, but these Zealots coming in have something to say about that. 13 SCVs going down. The constant Zealot run-bys are so powerful, man. There is a lack of cannon battery on these bases. Cannon battery there, cannon battery there. I guess it's just the southern base that's missing that right now. Army supply is a little ahead for Protoss. 4 Colossus in the mix versus only 5 Vikings. BYUN's definitely down a lot in this game. He will need an exceptional fight, probably involving fancy multitasking to get back in this. He's going to go for a quintuple drop. That's right, guys. The quint drop, you know, double drop, triple drop, quad drop. 5 drop is always a bit awkward. The quint drop, like quintuple doesn't sound as good, you know? The quinto drop, the quintessential drop, I don't even know. SCVs are getting dealt with by the bio over there. Good job. The Zealots get pushed back there. Oh, that army's fragile. If you EMP those sentries that don't have force field, the Marauders get on top. It's very bad for MAXPAX. If he gets caught out, there is a Widow Mine there. Oh, Zealots are dancing over there and in the natural, but this army's about to run in. Disruptors clean up some stuff. Good EMPs here for BYUN. Is it a bit of too aggressive, though? It might be. He almost gets one Colossus, but not quite. One of the medevacs goes down. The Stalkers had blink off cooldown, so they couldn't blink forward to chase. Check it out, guys. 1-1 upgrades. The second engineering bay in the armory did go down, but they haven't been used. BYUN is in chaos. His 4th command center is only 3/4 of the way done. He's down in army supply. He's now down in upgrades, and that's going to get worse and worse as time goes on. Vikings do go after the Colossus. The Colossus stay a little bit close. Disruptors landing on the Marauders in a pretty nice way. Those Colossus need to get out of there. Those Stalkers need to focus fire. Good micro by MAXPAX, though. BYUN has to tap out as the Stalkers take out the Vikings. The Disruptors land on the Marauders. MAXPAX with a fantastic hold of the Proxy Marauder in Game 1. All right, pretty nice win there for MAXPAX. Looked very good in the early game with that response, man. I think BYUN's probably a bit annoyed. He's like, dude, I totally sold him on it. And then the Stalker just sees the proxy, doesn't even get tagged by the Marauder, recalls home. It's a great sneaky way to open the series. I love when BYUN mixes in builds like that because, you know, so many years I made fun of him, or not made fun of, but I criticized him for being a bit predictable, doing the same thing over and over again. Mixing in that sort of build, it's really great. Tricking your opponent even better. Like the fact that MAXPAX scouted, but then didn't even realize what was happening. Amazing. For it to then still not work and actually kind of fall flat, that's really annoying for BYUN. That's got to be quite frustrating. So he's going to go high ground command center this time with a Marine first. He wants to go for a very quick factory. That's a 1-minute 50 factory. Oh, my waifu just brought me some food. Heck yeah. Food while commentating StarCraft. Best wife. I'm so lucky, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to rub it into your face. I guess she's technically bringing me food while I'm working. Anyways, Probe is going to hide up the top. Looks like he wants to do a 3-gate, guys. So MAXPAX making it look like a totally normal build. Second gas. If the Reaper comes in, he scouts a totally normal build. You're like, whatever. But he's going to build a 2nd gate there, a 3rd gate here, or, you know, vice versa. It could be 2nd gate at home first. He's going to warp in 3 units at about 330. Maybe a little... Yeah, I think 335 he did last time he did this to me. And if you don't realize this is coming, you can really struggle because even if you have a bunker, with this build, you've cut a lot of Marine production. Widow Mines can be fantastic, but sometimes your Widow Mines aren't in position. You might have a Widow Mine in your main mineral line. If you have 2 Widow Mines at the front, they blow up 2 Stalkers. It's amazing, right? You can absolutely crush it, especially with a bunker. We'll see how we go. If you guys are watching live, please help out the people asking about build order questions and stuff like that in the chat. Maybe link up some of my Bronze to GM videos if people are like, oh, just coming back to the game. Oh, MAXPAX, no! He throws his Adept away. Great Widow Mine placement there. And MAXPAX, because even when the shade went up to the high ground, it's hard to see the Widow Mine because the reactor kind of obscures it a little bit. So he loses a unit. That's a good start for BYUN. Problem, this 3-gate, I think it hits as the medevac flies out with the 2 Widow Mines. which means he's going to have a handful of Marines. He thinks he's safe because he's got a high ground there. So he's like, 7 Marines and a high ground. We already killed an Adept, easy peasy. And then we're going to have 3-4 Stalkers run up that ramp. He's also going to intercept the medevac as it moves out, most likely with his Stalker. Oh, smart MAXPAX. MAXPAX with the big brain. Medevac boosts out. Stalker gets a hit off, make it 2. And that means he's already well prepared. He's got an Adept coming in the natural as well. MAXPAX maybe coming in a little half-cocked on the natural. He's going to need to use a warp in at home to defend that Widow Mine drop, potentially. I would have loved to see him just YOLO on those Marines a bit harder. So I think MAXPAX maybe showed this a little bit earlier than he probably should have. Well, look at that. He gets a Marine. Doesn't get the SCV because the Widow Mine drop comes in. On the other hand, look at that. Oh, that is so clean. He shuts this down. And now he can bring all those Stalkers to the front. He's got a Warp Prison behind this. And no doubt we'll start thinking about a 3rd base behind that as well. Bunker's going to come up. He needs an Adept. Yeah, Adepts are really good because they give you high ground vision. So you just shade 1 Adept at a time. He shades them both at once. A little sloppy there from MAXPAX. That means you only get vision for a few seconds. But he feels confident shoving. There's a Siege Tank and a Raven out, though. The tank can just siege up and really push him back. Good move by BYUN. He forces him back, and then the Siege Tank can make its magic happen. Great tank fire. The Stalkers focus it down, but at what expense? 4 Stalkers, 4 Adepts have gone down. You may have killed the Siege Tank, but another one's about to be here. He's going to have to pick up, drop in the main. If he could intercept the tank as it pops, that'd be great, but 4 Stalkers will not kill it that fast. MAXPAX going 4 gas behind this. He's trying to probe up. He's only up 3 workers right now. So far, good defense for BYUN. He's still got time to go to stabilize, though. The Raven gets caught. Oh, that's a dead Raven. Picks up. Very nice cleanup. He can take out the depot for free back here. He can keep massing Stalkers on the natural, try to run in and bust it. But I think BYUN's doing a pretty good job of defending. Look at that tank position. Very conservative. He can quickly pull mass SCVs to repair that and have good surface area, but it still covers most of the vital infrastructure. Yeah, the Stalkers can pick off an SCV or 2. They can pick off 1 or 2 Marines. The tank actually has to shuffle over. BYUN, you don't want to throw these Marines away like this. This is giving MAXPAX some very good trades. Up to 11 Marine kills right now. The Stalkers bust the natural as well. Oh me, oh my. Oh me, oh my. The Stalkers are in the natural and the main at the same time. MAXPAX is dancing with this 3-gate. Does need to save these Stalkers in the main, but does he? Does he really? Because he's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. These Stalkers on both sides focusing SCVs. He does lose another Stalker in the main and another one. That Siege Tank doing very well. Stalkers in the natural finally take a shot as well, but look at that. They're going to take out all these depots. And behind it, charges on the way. The 3rd base starts. Robo Bay goes down. MAXPAX on fire right now. And he's going to go for the 2nd Raven. No, he goes for the tank. Ooh, he gets it. Mass repair, not enough to save that. Does lose a Stalker to the Raven, though. And the single Stalker drop behind the natural. Does he target the Reddit point SCV? He tried to, but it hit inside the refinery. These Stalkers still dancing, but there's a new Siege Tank in the house, and that will push back those Stalkers. 11 Stalkers have gone down in this game, guys, but he's killed 2 tanks, a Raven, 19 Marines, a medevac, 2 Widow Mines, and 10 SCVs. And this Stalker drops in the mineral line. He's going to recall the Prism. The Stalker is a sacrifice. Knowing getting the Prism out is much more important, but it takes 2 SCVs before it goes down. There is still a Raven alive, so we can move out and take out the Observer. If I was MAXPAX, I'd definitely be moving that Observer away from there, mate. That's a mite ambitious. That's a in-your-face Observer. That's the I'm watching you, and I want you to know I'm watching you. This is when the guy in your cupboard starts breathing heavily, or in your wardrobe, I should say. Can't really fit in a cupboard, can you? The guy in the wardrobe starts breathing heavily just so you know he's there, and you're like, yep, get out, get out, get out. Run, 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 run. Colossus are on the way. 7 Stalkers, 3 Zealots right now. Great map control for MAXPAX. He's up 8 workers. His aggressive openings are what make him so good in this matchup. It really is what's allowed him to get to the next level. And I gotta say, for anyone out there who's like, wow, it's Colossus range is why MAXPAX is beating the best Terrans right now. Guys, he's ahead in all the games we've seen recently before the Colossus hit the field. He's playing exceptionally good early games. Playing good build orders, out-microing his opponents, out-multitasking them, catching them off guard with good strategies. That's just how it is. And look at this. He saw the Raven fly out, and he's like, oh, you wouldn't be silly enough to try to cross over, would you? And BYUN, unfortunately, not paying attention. He should have realized he flew over a proxy. When you fly over a proxy, you have to double back. So then MAXPAX might send Stalkers looking, and when he never sees you cross, in his eyes, you'd be somewhere in the top right corner of the map. Little does he know, you cross back around the vision, and you've flown back into your base. Use it to clear up any observers, and you're all good from there. But by not making that decision, BYUN was probably so focused on his base, trying to fix his macro after the messy early game. That does hurt. 2nd Forge is on the way, as well as 5 more gateways. This was a 3-gate attack, remember. One of those gateways is on the other side of the map as well. So if he loses that, he'll be down to 7 gateways. For now, though, he's got a Prism that can warp in on the bottom left, Gateway in the top right, and a pack of Stalker Zealot in the middle as well. 3 tanks moving out the front. By exposing your tanks, you're saying, I either defend this position or I die trying. And you know what? They reach pretty far forward, but you got to get in front of those siege tanks, man. Those tanks are exposed right now. The Stalker Zealot's going to go after it. He gets a siege tank. Oh, bad fight for MAXPAX. Very bad fight for MAXPAX. Oh, no. MAXPAX messes up in a big way. Those tanks being so far forward catches him off guard. He loses a ton of Stalkers, a Sentry, and a Colossus. The Zealots start to get damage in the natural, but the bunker's ready for it. BYUN playing very safe there with a bunker to put those units in the rally point. Zealots coming in on this third. There are a lot of units there. He wants those siege tanks. MAXPAX is like, please give me those siege tanks. He wants them so bad. He knows if he can get rid of the tanks, the Colossus can work some magic, but that ends up being a lot of Zealots to throw away for one siege tank. And these units lost tabs. Remember, it was ahead at 1,000 resources for MAXPAX. Now he's behind 800. What a swing that is. 1,800 negative of trading in the last 2 minutes of this game. That Colossus gets caught by the Viking. It's heavily damaged. It does recall to save itself, but definitely not what he was wanting to have happen in this game. Ghost Academy's just finished as well. With the Ghost Academy now up, Ghosts will start producing on the next production round. He actually just queued up another round of Marauders. He's got to be careful about that. I wouldn't mind him cancelling some of those Marauders, queuing Ghosts. But Archons are being added. And we know that Archons are useless versus EMP. Luckily for MAXPAX, he's adding not only does he have the 4th base up, but he's adding a 2nd Robo. So he's going to add more of these other units. But for now, we got 4 Vikings and a tank. Pretty decent for countering Colossus, but there's 3 of them, so the Colossus are still ahead of that. Oh, Zealot drop goes in, gets a few SCVs, starts to deal with these units. Good positioning by BYUN there in the choke point. 4th base is in trouble. Tank's going to move forward and siege up. The Viking and the Bio is there. That 4th base is in trouble. MAXPAX gives it up. A wise choice. He's got a lot of probes. Nowhere to mine from. Zealot comes in, gets another SCV. He's damaging BYUN's income, keeping it low enough that I think this feels acceptable for BYUN. Not amazing, but acceptable. Oh, Marauder goes down, but only 1 Marauder for 4 Zealots is, of course, not a great trade. BYUN's defense is pretty tight. 9 SCVs do go down in total, though. MAXPAX is going to try and expand up front. He's got a few more Archons coming in, but the Ghosts are now on the way. BYUN finally getting into those. Vikings going down the left. They're looking for the Prism. Oh, BYUN goes hunting. He goes hunting deep on the map, finds the Prism, pulls those Vikings back. He's happy with that. He's going to clean up a bunch of these Zealots in the mineral line as well. One of them splits back in the mineral line. The medevac keeps the SCV alive. MAXPAX has got to be a little annoyed at how this game has turned. He was so ahead, and now he finds himself in a position where it's like, hey, once his 4th is back up and mining, he'll have that great income advantage again. But right now, his army is way smaller. And without the income advantage really being very significant, it's almost dead even until that base actually finishes building. He's in big trouble. Force field on the ramp could have been big, but he doesn't manage to get it. He's just getting overwhelmed. The Vikings raining down death on him. He just got caught out in the middle. I think he threw too many Zealots away on the map as well. 29 Zealots going down. And you can see here, BYUN fighting back from behind. It doesn't matter if you give this man 10 range Colossus. BYUN is so good at making comebacks. And that little poke was so good for MAXPAX. If he didn't take the first 2 tank volleys without realizing where the army was and then giving BYUN time to protect them, BYUN's tanks ended up being the goats of this game. They baited MAXPAX into terrible engagements on 2 separate occasions, and the Bio stimmed in to punish. Oh, he went for the big ambush disruptor. Wasn't quite able to land it. That one gets a Marauder and a Ghost, though. I do like these disruptor shots. Another Marauder and a Marine go down. MAXPAX trying to fight back. But now he's lost that massive worker advantage. He's down to 57. Does need that battery overcharge to come in, but it's still 15 seconds off cooldown. The Colossus going down. The EMP, the Marauders are too much. It's only a single upgrade advantage, so the double Forge didn't have time to pay off. The double Robo didn't have time to pay off. And, oh my god, massive disruptor shots. Really good disruptor shots for MAXPAX. Just a little too small, a little too late. Alright guys, great comeback for BYUN. This man does not die easily. MAXPAX is going to scout and go, oh yeah, same thing as always, no worries. Now he's actually going to scout for the second gas. This is very good because it's not the same thing as always. It's that same Marauder build yet again. And the thing is, when you see no command center on time, at this point you've already got to say to yourself, why is there no command center? What are you doing? It could technically be on the high ground, don't get me wrong. But if MAXPAX scouts for this, he'll be good. And he's attack moving, he's looking for it. He's looking everywhere but where the barracks is. Oh, that's unfortunate for Maxi. He's going to go Stargate. No, he does start Warp Gate. Okay, never mind. If he skips Warp Gate, obviously it would be a Stargate build. And a Void Ray or an Oracle does do very well versus this push. But yeah, he's right now trying to double check for it, and he will eventually see it, but only after like 2 Marauders are out. That's kind of late. I don't think it's early enough to drop a shield battery at that point. I do like that he's staying on the high ground. I think that's a good choice. Adepts kind of suck at killing Marauders, but they also don't die as fast because the Marauders don't get that double damage bonus versus Armored. Here we go, guys. Let's go to MAXPAX camera. And sorry, we're not on MAXPAX camera, but his vision is what I meant. So he sees the Marauder there. Marauders and SCVs going to start coming in. Battery had already started before he even saw it. Oh, wow. And he is building a Stargate, guys. He cancelled Warp Gate to make a Stargate. Adepts are actually going after the SCV. Very cute. He realizes the Marauders don't do that much damage. So he's like, as long as I can shade back to safety and not get caught out there, I should be okay. More shield batteries building right now. He's just going to make sure he doesn't lose the Adept before the battery's ready. No, MAXPAX went out way too early there. Big mistake for MAXPAX. And remember, the Adept damage sucks. So the shield battery can heal it, but you can't defend the shield battery because you don't have the damage output. Probe does finish off that guy. These probes trying to get that Marauder as well. This is looking like a disaster. He's going to try and build a Void Ray, but he's already lost 4 dudes. That Adept does shade forward, gets that Marauder, but man, that's enough damage on those Marines and Marauders to kill the Adept before the next shield battery could come up. And that's a lot of batteries to go down. New one's going to build on the high ground. Void Ray should be able to take out, I think it can like 1v4 Marines, though it'll take a bit of damage doing so. It's not the best at killing Marines, but because it can shoot consistently, should be okay. He's making Oracles behind it. I don't think he loses the Nexus. And this was a pretty big commitment for BYUN. This might be recoverable. Look, the Marines are trying to run away. He's like, well, I guess I have to send the Marauder to the Void Ray to deal with these 2 Marauders. So the Marauders are a sacrifice that allows him to gather up more Marines, more things that shoot up behind it. And the Marauder will go after that probe. Does he get it? He's going to get it. Oh, it barely gets inside the range. Very nice. Now, if he could focus the Tech Lab stim down, that'd be great. There's 7 Marines on the map. That's not enough to defend the stim. And look at that. BYUN knows it. He cancels stim and says, that's fine. I'll make it at home. I know this is not going to get up. So it's all good. Marine comes out. MAXPAX a little slow to attack that. No worries. Cancels his overcharge. He sees the barracks coming. He's going to pull back with the Void Ray because he's thinking the Marauders might be hiding up there for a backstab. So I've got to be really careful. Now he sees the Marine Marauder at home. And MAXPAX, he gets a single SCV building the barracks. He's going to grab a Marine there as well. Oh, very cute micro as the Marines split around the command center to get another Marine and almost kill 1 more. Void Ray's coming forward for some harass as the Oracle. He's up at 35 pros versus 27 workers. This actually looks completely fine for MAXPAX, despite the start of it going very poorly. The Void Ray is such a good counter to this build because you just don't have anything that shoots up. Void Ray takes out a Marine. Gonna take out another Marine. Focus hit the red point 1 on the right. You know he wants it. Yeah, he taps it. Almost gets another. That's a total of 7 Marines that have gone down. He's going to overcharge. MAXPAX does need to tuck it away now, put it back in his pants. Interesting that he didn't stop to kill the barracks, but look at this Oracle hitting from the right. Oracle in the main. Oh my god, his micro is so good. He's microing everyone's. MAXPAX multitasking is wild. You know what, guys? Remind me to ask him after this game, did you end up going ahead and changing any of those mechanics that I talked about? Because I told him to turn off mouse acceleration. I suggested he do that. I suggested he change his graphics settings because MAXPAX never being to a LAN, I realized even though he's years into being a player and a top tier player at that now, I believe after Sweden, he said he was going to try changing some things after the, or after the regionals for that, because that was kind of his last big tournament for a little while. So I really wonder if he actually changed that, because he doesn't get a chance to learn that from other players at live tournaments the way most people do, and it's such a handicap potentially. On the other hand, he's so good before he's made any of those adjustments to what like the mainstream players do that I'm not too surprised if he's god tier with or without it. The Oracle goes back in and gets another 2 SCVs. That's 8 SCVs, 3 Marauders, 8 Marines have gone down. BYUN's trying to exert pressure, but he's like, man, this is so irritating. Phoenix finally clear up the barracks on his side of the map. He's got 3 barracks at home. Starport swapping over for medevac production, but he doesn't have the gas mining yet. He needs that 4th gas quite desperately. As Shield starts up, +1 weapons, and very little gas from medevacs right now for BYUN. On the other hand, MAXPAX's 3rd base is pretty late, but keep in mind he's about to queue up his first Colossus. He's already got 4 Phoenix, a Void Ray, and 2 Oracles for support, as well as an Immortal and a couple Zealots. A Sentry is definitely a very important thing for him because Guardian Shield really helps against Mass Marine Marauder. Force Fields are also amazing. And a few more Stasis Traps is what I'd personally be wanting to see as a Protoss fan. Keep him safe. Stasis Trap. He's got 1 on the left of the 3rd, 1 up the middle. That Colossus cannot get here soon enough. MAXPAX chrono boosting it. You can see he's also building a shield battery a bit further out. Surprised he doesn't have one at the 3rd. Phoenix flying in, picking off 2 more SCVs, taking a little bit of damage, but overall staying very healthy. Medivacs here as well. Third command center starts up for Terran, as the third is almost finished for Protoss. 11 worker lead for Protoss. It's not that bad. It's the supply count that worries me. Often Terran's down 10, 12 SCVs, but they've got a big army advantage. And right now, yeah, I mean, he's got way more units. So many Marines and Marauders. The problem is they're all countered by the Colossus. Well, you can use your mobility with the Medivacs to get around that. Well, not really. You've only got your first 4 Medivacs out. There's already 4 Phoenix on the field. Looks like he lost one of them. It's 5 a moment ago. And a Void Ray. So if you try to pick up and drop in the main, you're in danger of getting those Medivacs shot down. All right. 4th and 5th barracks are there. Ghost Academy coming down. This one armor is on the way. Forge and Twilight, you see are very late. That's because the early rush combined with the Phoenix Colossus players put the gas elsewhere. Now the gas is going to try and round out those gateway upgrades. Void Ray's nearby. You don't want to throw that away. Careful. Oh, MAXPAX Void Ray will go down if he's not careful. Okay, gets back out of there. Oh, 4 probes go down. Look at that. Oh, the Marines run in. They try to get out. The Colossus is going to be left guarding them. And I know they're technically frozen in time, but I always like to imagine they're just more in like a frozen little cage and they can actually see the Colossus. And they know what's about to happen when they come out of there. It's not going to be good. It is not going to be good. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, me, oh, my. They're going to try and take a probe. They get 1, 2, 3. Oh, my God. Oh, beyond micro. Beyond micro. He gets 7 probes out of the stasis trap. Oh, my Lord. MAXPAX moved his Colossus Zealot to block them from retreating. Beyond's like, fine, I'll run in the mineral line. And actually gets a good trade. That's a really good trade for those Marines. So 11 probes in total, 4 on the first wave, 7 on the second. That puts MAXPAX economy in not such a dominant position. MAXPAX is starting a 4th. Yes, he's got 3 Colossus, a Prism on the way, Archons joining in, all that good stuff. But Ghosts are already out, so the Archons aren't that great. The Archon Zealot kind of sucks. And we've seen, you know, these fights go very one-sided one way or the other many times. Phoenix pick up an SCV. It's going to go over here, get the second engineering bay SCV as well. Damage those Medivacs a tiny bit. Tiny bit, that's like teensy. Ain'tsy teensy is tiny, guys. So if you combine those together. Ooh, Blink is not started yet. And with only 4 Phoenix, I worry for MAXPAX. Because you got the Void Ray, you got 4 Phoenix. He's got some budget anti-air, but this is not having a fleet of 10 Phoenix out. This is not like a real dominant amount of air control. If he messes up, loses his Phoenix, he's going to have a bit of struggle. I do like the stasis traps just spreading everywhere. Keep these oracles alive. The more stasis traps you spread, they're just little problems for BYUN. Anytime he's not scanning ahead, he's going to run into those stasis traps and have a bad time. Zealot drop comes in right now for MAXPAX. There's all these little advantages from the early game that are still here for MAXPAX. 4 SCVs do go down. The Marine Marauder does come over. Concussive Shell's so good versus those Zealots. 6 SCVs go down. And attack over on the 3rd. Uh-oh. That's a dead basive, I think. Oh, no. Zealot Archon's nearby. Snipe even lands on a Zealot. EMP on one of the Archons. He's like, oh, probably shouldn't have sniped. Probably should have saved that EMP energy for EMP. Oh, Colossus Archon does shred Marines. Oh, and BYUN walks into a stasis trap on the other side. 3 Colossus on the right. Only 1 on the left. I like that MAXPAX has a very mobile army on the left. Much more static army on the right. Just a few Colossus there. And no chance of those units running forward. If I were him, I'd actually run the sentry away over here. Because you know those ghosts are going to EMP everything when they come out of this. It's going to Guardian Shield. Nice EMPs. Do land. Sentry goes down. Not much else. Colossus roasting and toasting. This army on the left actually runs in and gets a bunch of SCVs. Looks like there was a Prism in the main as well. There's still 1 Zealot left in there. The main base got ransacked. This one only lost a few SCVs. The Prism did die though, as you can see there on the units lost tab. So it went down inside the main base. Still no Vikings for BYUN just yet. And that's 4 Colossus on the field. Double Marauder production. There's only single Forge this game for MAXPAX. He's building 2 extra gateways, so he's trying to go to 10 gate, all off single Forge. Zealot Archon Colossus marching forward. He's brought every Colossus to the front now. The Phoenix would love to kill those Vikings, but already one of them goes down. 4th Command Center is trying to float out past this Zealot in the natural. Run by 3 Zealots in the natural, in fact, not just 1. Stasis Trap lands on a few of those bio units. That 4th Command Center is just to the left. If MAXPAX knew about it, he would chop that thing down. But he doesn't realize that BYUN is this crazy. BYUN is up against the ropes right now. His back's up against the wall. 2 games in this series, he's tried the same build both times, and unsuspecting MAXPAX has managed to handle it just fine. Blink is now starting up. Disruptor counts at 2, soon to be 4, with the 3rd and 4th disruptors on the way. 5th Nexus, about a third of the way complete, versus a 4th Nexus for BYUN, frantically trying to erect itself in the left side of the map. Think tall thoughts, think solid thoughts, think turgidity. Slowly, slowly, slowly pop that bad boy out of the top there. It looks like as he turtle heads it, pokes his turtle head up, he will be able to fight off those zealots. Good pullback by MAXPAX. Oh, Oracle's going to be going down. One of them does anyway. Nice tag to keep track of this army. Remember, there's no observers on this map. The Oracles have been the detection. Preserving those all game is a big part of why MAXPAX has been in control, because he knows exactly where BYUN is doing, where he is, what he's doing. Marauders pull back there. Nice little split of the army, but maybe a bit too much bio split to the right, which means the left is open. Oh, Disruptors could totally deal with this bio on the right side. There's a stasis trap. Oh! Huge stasis trap. Another Disruptor shot goes forward, but bit of an interesting fight. I feel like MAXPAX is like, look, I froze so many units, I should be able to just shove on top. Doesn't have Blink yet. His Colossus are kind of up front right now. The rest of the army comes in. MAXPAX has just played himself, guys. Those guys are about to pop out. They're about to pop out, but he does cleanse that part of the army. Disruptor on the bio, but the Disruptor does go down. Another one comes in trying to save the day. He's trying to get out of here. His Colossus doing some nice stutter step, but he's losing his whole army. MAXPAX has got Zealots in the natural and the 3rd, killing every single SCV. BYUN has to go home because his base is getting ransacked. MAXPAX may have gotten a bit overeager there, popped a little bit of an extended thermalats, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, he went from tight beam, controlled, smooth, pinpoint accuracy lasers to broad spectrum. I'm going to irradiate the universe with my goddamn Solarium cannon. Like, it was insane, man. What's the name of that cannon? In the Legacy of the Void campaign, you just do, like, orbital bombardments from the Spear of Adun and stuff. Like a gigantic Power of the Sun ability. That's essentially what MAXPAX went for after that stasis trap, because his units were walking around this cliff around the right and the left, getting hit by a planetary the whole time. It was just an awkward angle. I like decisiveness when I see it. It did backfire for him in that scenario, though. He's got 5 disruptors back up, so that's okay for him. He is making 3-1 upgrades, so I imagine he'll be going to plasma shields in the near future. Disruptor shots continuing to go out here. BYUN's barely hanging on to 4 bases. It's hard for him to rebuild, even when these fights go well for him. 3,000 resource advantage in the units lost. That's because he's defending, though. It's because he's on the back foot. He's just trying to get every bit of efficiency he can. Takes down some Archons here. The Disruptor shots are chasing him back. Oh! Big one lands. More Disruptor shots where that came from as well. Killing the Sensor Tower would have been a nice prize for MAXPAX, but he says, my balls are empty. I'm going to pull back for a moment. Give myself a minute to recharge. And I'd like to see him pull back a little further. He's still posturing like he's the big scary daddy. This is what Hero is very good at doing. See it get Protoss players into a lot of trouble. And they believe too much in the power of a couple of disruptors, most that are still recharging. You can see BYUN wants to pounce, but Zealot run-by comes in on the left, 5th Command Center. Immediately interrupted. Those Zealots had clicked that. They probably would have canceled it, but he gets an SCV, gets a turret, runs away. MAXPAX shoves! He says, haha, made you split your army. Shoves in here, looking for those big disruptor shots. If he can focus down a few of these medevacs, he gets 1, he gets 2. Should be able to take out a 3rd one in the moment. BYUN just cannot keep up, and MAXPAX closes out the series. GG, well played.